The armor of the ancients. In the cold silence of space, a massive alien ship floated near a dying star. Inside that ship, a team of alien warriors stood before a dark, ancient vault. The leader, a tall creature with 6 eyes and silver armor, raised his hand. "Open it," he said. The vault hissed. The heavy metal doors slid apart, revealing a strange object in the center of the room. It stood on a pedestal, glowing softly, shaped like armor, but clearly alive. Its surface pulsed with light as if it had a heartbeat. This was the armor of the ancients. They called it the Eternal Shell. Legends said it was made by a race long gone, stronger than any metal, smarter than any machine. But it had one rule. It chose its own wearer. "This is it," whispered one of the soldiers. "The ultimate weapon." The leader stepped forward. "I will wear it." He reached out. The armor moved, not forward, but back. Then, without warning, it struck. The armor sent out a blast of energy, throwing the leader across the room. His body slammed against the wall. Smoke rose from his chest. He didn't move again. The others stepped back, shocked. It rejected him. Again. It's happening again. In the last 50 years, many had tried to wear the armor. Warriors, champions, even kings. All had failed. Some were burned alive, others went mad. No one understood why the armor refused them. Some believed it was broken, some believed it was haunted, and some believed it was waiting for the right one. Aboard a council ship orbiting a nearby planet, alien leaders discussed the incident. "It has rejected our strongest again," said one. "What more can we do? We've tried everything. Maybe it cannot be worn anymore. But why does it still shine? Why does it still live?" A young alien scientist stood up. He looked nervous. "I found something," he said quietly. "Inside the armor, there's a code." The others turned to him. "Speak." He showed a hologram. Symbols appeared in the air. Strange, old symbols. "This is ancient," the scientist said. "I matched the code with old data from extinct races. There's one word." "What word?" The scientist looked up. "Human." Far away on a small blue planet called Earth, a soldier named Jason Rook stood in a desert training field. He was sweating, holding a training rifle, breathing hard. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the strongest. But there was something different about him. He never gave up. When others stopped, he pushed forward. When others got scared, he stood his ground. He believed in protecting others, even when it hurt. That same night, an alien ship landed in secret. A team of scouts found him. "He doesn't look special," one said. "Let the armor decide," another replied. Back on the alien ship, Jason stood in front of the armor. It didn't glow. It didn't move. He looked at it. "You're the thing everyone's scared of?" he asked, half smiling. "You don't look so tough." He stepped closer. The soldiers watched, holding weapons, ready to stop him if needed. Jason raised his hand. He touched the armor. Nothing happened. Then, a light. Soft at first, then brighter. The armor pulsed. It moved, but not to attack. It moved toward him. It wrapped around his arm. The soldiers gasped. "It's accepting him." The armor flowed over Jason's body like liquid metal. It sealed around him, fitting perfectly. He didn't scream. He didn't fall. He stood tall, eyes wide with shock. And something else. Power. The armor had found its wearer. In the shadows, the young scientist whispered, "It waited all this time. For a human." The generals looked at each other. If this is true, if he can control it, he may be the most dangerous being in the galaxy. Or the one who saves it. Unworthy. The room was silent. Everyone stared at Jason Rook, standing in the center, now fully covered in the glowing alien armor. No screams, no pain. He just stood there, calm, alive. The armor pulsed slowly like it was breathing with him. The colors shifted with his heartbeat. It had never done this before. An alien commander stepped forward. His voice shook. He is the one. Jason looked at his hands. The armor responded instantly, changing shape, adjusting as if reading his thoughts. What is this thing? Jason asked. It feels alive. The young alien scientist from before stepped up. It is alive. It has a mind of its own. We tried for decades to wear it. It killed many of us, but it chose you. Jason frowned. Why me? The scientist hesitated. Because it was made for someone like you, someone human. In the next room, alien generals watched everything through a screen. They whispered among themselves. This is dangerous. He could be a weapon. Or he could turn against us. General Threx, an older, scarred warrior, slammed his hand on the table. He is untested. We cannot trust a creature that our ancestors called primitive, but the armor accepted him, one leader argued. We cannot ignore that, General Threx growled. Then test him. They took Jason to a giant training chamber. The walls were thick with metal. Giant machines stood like sleeping beasts. Voice came over the speaker. Human, prove yourself, survive. Suddenly the room came alive. Laser turrets dropped from the ceiling. Drones flew from hidden doors. Energy cannons fired. Jason ducked. He ran behind a wall as the floor exploded behind him. The armor reacted instantly. Shields formed on his arms. A weapon grew from his wrist. Something between a sword and a rifle. He didn't think. He moved. Slash. Block. Fire. Dodge. The machines couldn't touch him. His speed doubled, his vision sharpened. The armor told him where to move, like it was guiding him. In just 2 minutes, everything in the room was destroyed. Smoke. Silence. Sparks falling like snow. Jason stood in the center, breathing hard but smiling. Is that it? Up in the wall. Control room, even General Threx was speechless. He's not just wearing it, someone whispered. He's becoming one with it. Later, Jason sat alone in his quarters. The armor had shrunk back, now sitting on his chest like a glowing tattoo. He looked in the mirror. Why me? He whispered. The door opened. The young alien scientist entered. I think I know the answer, he said. He showed Jason a star map. The creators of the armor once came to your world, Earth, long ago. They left behind stories, symbols, even blood. Jason's eyes widened. You're saying I'm part alien? The scientist nodded. Maybe just a little, but enough. Enough for the armor to see you as worthy. But not everyone was happy. Far across the galaxy, a dark figure watched the recordings of Jason. Its skin was black as space. Its eyes burned with red fire. This was Catharak, the warlord of the void, a destroyer of worlds. He had searched for the ancient armor for centuries, and now, a human had it. Catharak's voice rumbled like thunder. Find him, and bring me his heart. The warlord's shadow. The stars outside the alien base flickered strangely. Something was coming. Jason Rook didn't feel it at first. He was training again, learning how to command the armor. It moved with him now, faster and smoother than before. He could shape weapons with a thought, scan enemies from far away, and jump higher than any soldier ever had. But deep inside the armor, something had changed. It was whispering to him. Late that night, Jason stood alone on the landing deck, looking at the stars. The voice inside the armor spoke again. He comes. Jason froze. Who? The armor pulsed. The one who wants me back, the one I escaped from. Before Jason could ask more, alarms rang across the base. Red lights, sirens, shouts. A massive ship had entered the system, dark, silent, and shaped like a blade. It didn't send a warning. It didn't ask for permission. It just appeared. Everyone on the base rushed to defensive positions. General Threx roared, "Shields up! All forces prepare for war." But the ship didn't fire. It sent one message, a simple transmission. One image, Catharak's face, burning eyes, twisted mouth, skin like cracked stone, and his voice, deep and slow. "Give me the human, or burn." Inside, the command center panic spread. The generals argued, "He'll destroy us all." "We can't fight Catharak." "Give him the human." Jason stood in the center, quiet. "I'm not running," he said. They all turned to him. "You don't understand," one alien said. "That thing out there, it kills planets. It doesn't lose." Jason's eyes burned with fire. "Neither do I." Hours later, Catharak sent something else, a pod. It landed in the desert outside the base. When it opened, smoke poured out, and from the shadows came a monster, 10 feet tall, black armor, red eyes, holding a weapon that cracked the ground with every step. Jason watched from the gate. The armor on his body shifted, glowing hotter. "I think this is for me," he said. The creature roared and charged. Jason met it head-on. Their clash shook the ground. Metal hit metal. Sparks flew. The monster was fast, but Jason was faster. The creature fired its weapon. Jason dodged and fired back. His blast knocked the beast through a mountain of crates, but the monster stood up, unhurt. Jason gritted his teeth. "Okay, no more playing." The armor opened on his back. 2 energy wings formed. He lifted off the ground like a jet. He flew straight at the monster and punched it with a fist charged with pure light. The blast created a crater. The monster didn't get up. Everyone on the base cheered. But Jason didn't smile. He looked up at the stars. "I felt him watching," he whispered. The armor agreed. "Catharak is testing you. The real war is coming." Jason turned to General Threx. "I need a ship. I'm going to him." The room went quiet again. "You want to go to Catharak?" the general asked. Jason nodded. "I'm done hiding. He wants me. Fine, but I'll bring the fight to him." Far away, Catharak stood on the bridge of his ship. He watched the battle replay. His red eyes narrowed. "Finally," he whispered. "A challenge." Behind him, his army of death machines roared in silence. The hunt had begun. The hunt begins. Jason stood inside the ship given to him by the Galactic Command. It was small, fast, and built for stealth, not war. But Jason wasn't worried. He had the armor, and the armor remembered. "There is a path," it whispered in his mind. "To reach him, you must follow the pain." Jason stared at the map. Star systems blinked like fireflies. Most were quiet, peaceful, but a line of red marked the ones Catharak had touched. Worlds left in silence, whole planets missing. Jason picked the darkest one. "Set course," he said. His ship jumped into hyperspace. Hours turned to days. Jason trained the entire time. In the silence of space, the armor showed him new things: a shield of pure energy, a spear made of plasma, how to move between shadows. Jason was becoming more than a man. He was becoming a weapon. Finally, the ship dropped. Out of hyperspace above a dead planet. Charred ground, no trees, no air. No life. But something was down there. The armor pulsed. A memory remains. Jason landed. The wind was sharp like knives. Ash blew across the black rocks. He walked for miles, until he saw it. A field of bones, alien bones, human bones. Machines, broken and twisted. In the center, a half-buried tower. Jason moved closer. The tower shook. Then, it opened. A deep voice called out, "Another one has come to die." Jason's eyes narrowed. "I'm not like the others." From inside the tower came a guardian, ancient and rusted, but still alive. Its chest glowed red. Its arms were blades. Jason readied himself. The guardian moved fast, but he was faster. The armor reacted on instinct. It blocked, countered, and struck with lightning speed. The battle lasted minutes. Then Jason plunged a glowing blade into the machine's heart. Boom. Silence again. Inside the tower, Jason found something he didn't expect. A journal. Old. Burned, but readable. It was written by another human, a scientist named Dr. Lee. Jason sat down and read every page. She had studied the armor before it vanished. She called it Project Echelon. It was not made by humans, but it bonded with them better than any alien species, because humans were broken, full of pain, full of hope, full of fire. The armor didn't want perfection. It wanted will. Jason understood now. He wasn't chosen because he was the strongest. He was chosen because he refused to give up. Suddenly, the tower shook again. Jason rushed out and saw 3 alien ships landing nearby. Dark, marked with Catharak's sigil. Soldiers stepped out, all in red armor. Hunters. One of them pointed. That's him. Jason smiled. Let's dance. The fight that followed was pure chaos. Blasts filled the air. Soldiers charged. Jason dodged, flew, struck, and spun through the smoke. The armor adapted. Every time they hit him, it hardened. Every time they tried to trap him, it broke free. By the end, the ground was littered with wreckage. Only Jason stood, breathing hard, but alive. He looked at the sky. He knew Catharak had seen everything. Jason shouted, "Come face me yourself." The wind howled in reply, but a voice answered. From the armor. He waits, but he fears you now. Back on his ship, Jason uploaded Dr. Lee's journal. Sent it to the Galactic command. Others need to know, he said. About the armor, about what we're fighting. General Threx replied in shock. Dr. Lee vanished years ago. Her work was lost. Not anymore, Jason replied. He looked at the stars again. Set course. Next target. The ship flew off, toward the next haunted system. Jason wasn't done yet. This was just the beginning. The breaking point. Jason was not the same man anymore. Each battle changed him. Each memory from the armor taught him more. But what he found next would shake him like never before. The ship drifted into orbit around a silent world. It wasn't marked on any galactic map. No name, no history. But the armor spoke. This is where it all began. Jason narrowed his eyes. The first war? The armor replied. The first betrayal. Jason landed on the planet. Everything was covered in silver dust. It looked dead, until he stepped forward. The ground lit up beneath his feet. Old machines, powered on. A deep hum filled the air. Then he saw them. Thousands of tall statues buried in rows. Soldiers, scientists, civilians, frozen in time. Not statues, people, turned to metal. Jason reached out to touch one. Suddenly, pain shot through. His head, a vision struck him. He saw the ancient creators of the armor, the architects. Beautiful, wise, but cold. They made the armor to protect themselves, not to share. One of their own betrayed them. He gave the armor to other species. Catharak was the first. Jason watched the vision as Catharak put on the armor. It melted him, twisted him, turned him into something else. The armor rejected him, but he forced it to obey. He made copies, cheap, corrupted copies, and he used them to kill. Jason fell to his knees. His mind burned. Why show me this? He shouted. The armor answered, so you understand. Catharak is not just an enemy. He is our failure. Jason clenched his fists. Then I'll fix it. He moved deeper into the planet's ruins. There he found a glowing crystal chamber. Inside, another piece of living armor like his, but smaller, damaged, weak. Jason touched it. It spoke. A voice young and scared. Are you human? Jason nodded. Yes, the voice whispered. Then you're the last hope. The armor piece floated into his hand and merged with his suit. Suddenly, everything changed. Jason felt faster, sharper. He could feel the gravity, the stars, even Catharak's presence. He knows you are here, the armor said. And he is coming. Jason rushed back to his ship, but it was gone, destroyed. Smoke filled the air. Catharak's soldiers were waiting. Dozens of them, all armed. They fired. Jason didn't flinch. He activated the new armor fusion. A blue wave exploded from his body. Time slowed. He moved between the blasts, dodging, striking, unseen. He didn't fight like a man anymore. He fought like something ancient, something angry. When it was over, only Jason remained, burned, breathing hard, but alive. He searched the wreckage. No ship. No way off the planet. Now what? He asked. The armor spoke softly. There is one more secret. Jason followed the voice underground, deep beneath the silver surface. There he found a ship. Ancient, alive, made by the architects. The last of its kind. It opened for him. Welcome, human, it said. Jason stepped in and the ship responded. Lights turned on. Power surged. Time to end this, Jason whispered. As the ship flew into the stars, Jason looked down at the planet. A graveyard of the past. But he had survived it. He had learned the truth. And now, he was ready. Catharak watched from his dark throne on a distant world. His red eyes narrowed. He has awakened the Ancient One, he growled. A general stepped forward. Shall we destroy him? Catharak stood. No, he said. I will do it myself. When Titans collide. When Titans collide, Jason stood at the edge of the galaxy, inside the ancient living ship. Everything was silent, except the low hum of power. The armor wrapped tightly around him, like it was bracing for something big. He wasn't afraid. But he was ready. The ship spoke. Catharak is near. He is coming in his war fortress, the Devourer. Jason stepped toward the main console. Then let's meet him. Suddenly space tore open ahead. A black hole shimmered, but it wasn't a natural one. It was a portal, and from that swirling void came a monster of metal. The Devourer, a fortress the size of a moon, armed with weapons that could burn planets. Jason stared. He didn't blink. He didn't back away. Instead, he smiled. Inside the Devourer, Catharak stood tall. His body now fully merged with corrupted armor. Red, glowing, twisted. His face cracked like broken stone, but his eyes burned with pride. Prepare my descent, he ordered. I will tear the human apart myself. His generals hesitated. But the last 12 warriors you sent failed, Catharak roared. I will not. Jason's ship moved forward, much smaller, but faster. Catharak shot missiles, lasers, black energy blasts. Jason weaved through them like light in water. Then he charged. The ships collided. Both warriors launched into space. No gravity, no ground. Only raw power and will. Catharak struck first, a punch powered by 10 galaxies. Jason blocked it. The force shattered asteroids nearby. Then Jason hit back, one blow, straight to Catharak's chest. The corrupted armor cracked. They clashed. Again, fists, energy, roars. Space lit up like a storm. They weren't just fighting, they were breaking physics. But suddenly Jason faltered. The new armor inside him began to shake. Too much power, it whispered. Jason fell back, breathing heavy. Catharak laughed. The armor chose you, but it is still weak. He raised a giant blade made of black matter. Jason couldn't move fast enough. It came down, and then, clang, the blade stopped. Floating between them was another figure, a woman, in ancient armor, silver and glowing, the same kind as Jason's. Her voice was calm. Enough, Catharak hissed. You? But you were lost. She looked at Jason. I was the first human the armor ever touched, before it slept. Jason blinked. She nodded. My name is Commander Ava, and I've been waiting for you. Together, Ava and Jason stood side by side. 2 humans, 2 living armors, 1 mission. Catharak roared. 2 of you? Then I shall destroy you both. He charged. But now, It was different. Jason moved with Ava, like they had trained together, forever. They struck in perfect sync. Catharak couldn't keep up. His corrupted armor began to fall apart. His power flickered. And in that moment, Jason leapt high, called on everything the armor had, and drove a pure energy strike straight into Catharak's chest. Boom. Silence. Floating dust. Catharak's body drifted in space. Motionless. The Devourer began to collapse without its master. Jason and Ava flew back to their ship. The galaxy was safe, for now. Jason looked at Ava. "You waited all this time?" She smiled. "Because only a human could bring the armor back to life. You reminded it what courage is." Jason looked out at the stars. "And now?" Ava answered. "Now we rebuild. And we prepare. Because this was just the beginning." The return of the architects, a strange signal echoed through the stars. Wasn't a cry for help. It wasn't a threat. It was a code. Ancient, powerful, and familiar. Jason and Ava stood on the bridge of the living ship. The armor on their bodies pulsed with light. The ship spoke softly. "The architects are coming." Long ago, the architects built the armor, living technology that only bonded with those worthy of protecting life. But when war came, the armor rejected the galaxy. It went silent. Until Jason. Until now. A silver rift opened in deep space. From it came a fleet. Silent, glowing like starlight, shaped like nothing the galaxy had seen before. They didn't attack. They simply hovered, watching. Then one ship moved forward. A figure appeared, tall, calm, and dressed in robes made of light. "I am Valar," it said, its voice echoing in their minds. "We are the architects." Jason stepped forward. "Did you come to finish what Catharak started?" Valar shook his head. "Catharak was one of ours, a mistake that we tried to erase, but he returned." Ava's eyes narrowed. "Why come now?" Valar looked at them both. "Because the armor has chosen again. That means balance is returning. But with balance comes danger." Suddenly the ship shook. A new wave of energy surged through the galaxy. It didn't come from the architects. It came from beyond. A black storm began to form behind the fleet. Valar's voice dropped. "No, it's too soon." Jason asked, "What is that?" Valar looked serious. "Something worse than Catharak, a devourer of worlds, a creature that feeds on energy. It sensed the armor's returned, and now it's awake." The storm twisted into a shape, a massive being made of shadows and fire. It had no face, no eyes, only hunger. The stars dimmed. The living ship whispered in fear, "This is Nullus, the end." Jason turned to Ava. "Ready for one last fight?" She smiled. "Always." The armor wrapped tighter around them, glowing, breathing. Valar raised a hand. "We will help, but this fight must be led by you. The last hope of the galaxy is human." Jason and Ava flew forward, the ship boosting them straight into the heart of the storm. The creature roared, a sound so deep it shook time itself. Jason punched. Ava slashed, but nothing worked. Nullus absorbed the attacks. It grew stronger. Jason shouted, "It's feeding on energy." Ava nodded. "Then we don't fight it with power." Jason understood. "We fight it with will." They joined hands. The armor began to glow brighter, but not just from strength. It glowed from hope, courage, and human spirit. Valar and the architects watched as something incredible happened. The armor changed. It evolved. Jason and Ava became one, a fusion of mind and body. Surrounded by a new golden suit of armor, the final form, they flew into Nullus, straight into the darkness. And inside, they saw something terrifying. Galaxies it had eaten, souls it had erased. But they pushed through. They screamed one word. "No!" A burst of light exploded from within. The storm near broke. The sky cleared. Nullus was gone. Silence. Then cheers. The architects bowed their heads. Velar said, "We created the armor to protect life, but only humans remembered why it was made." Jason and Ava floated side by side, staring at the stars. The galaxy was safe. For now. But the message was clear. Humans were not just survivors. They were the shield of the galaxy, the hope that even gods had forgotten, and that made them unstoppable.